Welcome back. The other day, I was having a wonderful conversation with an amazingly deep yogi, and he said something so perfect. He said, I used to be really good in sports when I was young, and so I came to meditation and I thought I can use the same mechanism. I'm just going to push, push, push. And I realized that absolutely does not work in meditation. I had to learn to let go. I had to learn something new. And I thought, that is just so perfect, so well said. So I wanted to tell you about my own pushing in meditation, my manic pushing, and how I learned to let that go when Divine Mother gave me a very special teaching dream. So let's get into it. So I was in the ashram and I had learned Kriya Yoga, I had learned Yoni Mudra, I was seeing the spiritual eye. I had reached the point where I had done enough cumulative exercise of the Yoni Mudra that I was actually seeing it. I would just go like this. I would just plug my ears and I would start to hear the Om vibration, the nada, and I would go like this, and I would begin to see the spiritual eye. Or I would go like this, and again, I would begin to see the spiritual eye. First of all, I was very aggressive with my meditative practice. I was practicing quite a bit. And then to have that success with the spiritual eye, where I was actually beginning to see the circle and the deep blue cave and the star inside of all of that. It was starting to come on a regular basis, and that just threw gasoline on the fire of my enthusiasm for meditation, and I was going bonkers. I was going nuts, and I was practicing about every 15 minutes to 30 minutes. I would do this every 15 or 30 minutes, or I would do this one every 15 or 30 minutes, and I would see the spiritual eye, and then I'd go through my day, and then I'd see the spiritual eye, and then I'd go through my day. And the spiritual eye had been so emphasized in the teachings that I was studying that I thought this is the whole answer and it's right here. And I almost couldn't believe it. Oh my God, the thing that they say is the answer, it's right there. And that's exactly where it stayed. It just stayed there like a sphinx, like a riddle. And it was just driving me crazy, that riddle. Because exactly what I said, exactly what that yogi said. Look, you can push and push and push in other areas of your life. And you can even push and push and push in meditation, but you're going to reach this point where you absolutely realize you cannot push your way into deep meditation. And this is what I found. You absolutely cannot push your way through the spiritual eye. And so it sat there like a sphinx in front of me. And I was looking at it all the time. And I was staring at the sphinx going, what is the answer? And I was praying. I prayed for 3 years straight. Oh my God, tell me the answer. How do I get through this spiritual eye? And then one night, Divine Mother took pity on me and she gave me a teaching dream. And this is really interesting. This will absolutely happen to you. So the beauty of sleep is that your conscious mind is radically subdued. So that part of you which is uptight and tense and in your own way is squished out of your consciousness momentarily. And you just have the subconscious, right? And so you're largely out of your own way wonderfully. And when that happens, sometimes the superconscious mind will throw down instruction into the subconscious. And so it will come to you as a vision, it will come to you as a knowing, it will come to you as a teaching dream. And that's what happened to me. And in this dream, I woke up and I was in an elevator and it wasn't moving. It was completely stationary, but I was in a box exactly like an elevator. And so I'm looking around, how do I get out of this elevator? And there just happens to be a ladder on the side wall. And so, well, I must need to climb the ladder. So I climbed the ladder and I got to the roof of that room, that one elevator room. And at the top there was a trap door in the dream. So I opened up the trap door, and you would think I'd be, now I would be in the elevator shaft, but no, in this dream, I'm now in a new elevator box, as if somebody had stacked one elevator box on top of another. And so now I'm in the second elevator room. Okay, so I look around, how do I get out? And again, there is a ladder on the wall. And so I climb the ladder, I get to the top, I look up, and there's a trap door. I pass through the trap door, and I'm in a third stacked elevator room, right? Can you see where this is going? So I climb the ladder on the wall, I look up, there's a trap door, I pass through, I go into the fourth room, I climb the ladder, I'm in the fifth room. I climb the ladder, and I look up once again, expecting another trap door. But this time it's different. There's nothing there but a very simple PVC pipe sticking out of the ceiling. And I was working for the church at this time as a gardener, and so I was working with lots of PVC pipe. It was very familiar with me. 3/4 inch, and I looked up. I looked into that pipe, and in the dream I said, how in the hell am I going to fit through that? And I woke up. I knew the meaning of the dream instantly. The knowing, the understanding floated through the intuition. I knew exactly, of course, this is the chakras. I traveled all the way through the chakras. You can push your way through all of the chakras, no problem. But once again, sitting in front of the spiritual eye, Sphinx-like, you cannot push your way through the spiritual eye. And so I looked up into that PVC pipe and I realized, of course, you cannot fit your sense of self, your body, your subconscious, everything that you are attached to. You cannot shove it through that spiritual eye. You have to let go. You have to let go of everything associated with your life and your story and your worries and your concerns and your ivory tower ideas of what is real and what isn't real. You have to let all of that go. And the beauty of that teaching dream, the profoundness and the way it just explained things to me so beautifully, I just walked around in a daze for weeks, just continuously contemplating this lesson which had been given to me. You have to let go. Well, of course, right? All of your story, all of your ideas, all of what you think is true, all of your grief and your self-incrimination and your yada 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 yada, all of the self-talk, you have to let it all go. Everything which you think is you, you have to be willing to momentarily abandon all of that and let it go. Surrender. Let go. So I walked around contemplating this, and I'm like, oh my God, the spiritual eye is a gauntlet of truth. You can push and push forever, but once you reach that Sphinx, it is the truth. You cannot push your way through the spiritual eye. You have to finally let go and embrace this radical, deep, profound spirituality of surrender. And I went around thinking about that. Oh my God, everything that I think I know, it's just baloney. I have to let all that go in order to pass through this gateway of the spiritual eye. And so I was thinking about that, and I was discussing things with my counselor, who was Brother Mitrananda, and we were talking about how the monks will use this saying. They will say, "Well, that's not Master's way," and the one monk will tell you, "Well, you must go up because that's Master's way," and the next monk will say, "Well, you must go down because that's Master's way," and so that happens 20 times, and you go, "Well, this is completely arbitrary. They're just whatever they think. They're just going to tell you that's Master's way." As a logical fallacy. And we were talking about that, and I said to Mitrananda, you can't keep that idea. You cannot force Master's way, what you think is Master's way. You can't force that through the spiritual eye. That's the gauntlet. It's going to stop that. And his mouth just fell open because he knew it was true. You can't take what you think you know through the spiritual eye. That's an ivory tower. That's the thing that you're letting go of, which will allow you to actually pass through the spiritual eye. And now we know even more profoundly, even more simply, it is your left and your right brain. Your left brain is the predator. It is designed to get things done, to go out and do. It is the doer in you wonderfully, because there's a lot to do in our lives, right? We absolutely need all of that operating infrastructure to get things done in our lives. And yet that's the thing we have to let go and abandon as we enter into the right brain. It's a opening up, a spreading out, a becoming. It is an embracing of the hugeness of the divine consciousness all around us, isn't it? That is the right brain that we are stepping into. That bigness, that hugeness, that expansiveness. And that's why I say we want to enter into the low idle state. We want to use HRV resonance and get the 4 proofs as we are sitting very still, and do some Om Japa in the chakras, get everything out of the way, and then let go. We're going to do all of the doing and then be. Do, then be, then do, then be, right? Doobie doobie doo. It's a wonderful program. When you do some of those wonderful things, it's a setup. You are setting yourself up for wonderful success as you let go and just be. And we don't quite know how to be, right? How do we just be? I don't get it. What are we supposed to do in the being? Because we're so attached to our doing. We identify so much with the left brain. That's the way we're set up in this life so that we can survive. So of course we're attached to it. So how do you do the be, Forrest? How does that work? Well, look at the 4 proofs. Do you have hands hot and heavy? Are your lips tingling? Can you feel pressure on the dorsal vagal? Can you feel the skin tingling? Do you feel peace or calm or tranquility or joy? Even if it's not perfect, you have some. Can you soak in that like a potato? That's the pot, right? Oh my God, there's a little calm. Oh my God, I have hands hot and heavy. Can you soak in that? Soak in that like a potato in a pot. Soak in that wonderfully. Soak it into yourself. What happens to the potato? It gets hot and it begins to get soft. And so too, our mind begins to soften. It becomes quiet. That's what we're looking for. Soak into all of those qualities, peace and calm and tranquility and joy and bliss even. Soak in it. And when you have the 3 essentials that I talk about, right? The tranquil breath, the freeze response, the roll up of consciousness, soak in those. Oh my God, are you an amazing yogi if you are soaking in any of those or all of those? Oh my God, hallelujah, amazing. Absolutely, if you are soaking in those, oh my God, what you are doing. Oh my God, it's amazing. It just blows my mind how accomplished that is. It's just insanely accomplished in meditation. You're soaking in something. These are the profound skills that Kriya Yoga wants to give to you. If you're soaking in the tranquil breath, the freeze response, and the roll up of consciousness, you are soaking in that. And then you'll feel yourself, oh my God, I think I'm spreading into the air around me. And then you soak in that, because now you can feel it. I am in the pot. You can actually begin to feel it. This is a state of absorption that you are sensing. That is so profound. Oh my God, that's so profound. Soak in that. You do, and then you be. And that be, that is the letting go. That soaking, being the holy potato, that is the surrender. It's easy enough to think of this as simply enjoyment. The surrender is just enjoying soaking in the peace. That's it. You're letting go right there. That's it. Beautifully, amazingly. So that's how you do the be. You soak. You soak it in like a holy potato. And it will get deeper and deeper, and you will come back. And that soaking will stay with you. And then you walk through your day, you're not so hard, right? You're a soaked up holy potato, and you're a little bit softer. You're a little bit easier. Your life gets a little bit softer and a little bit easier. Not so edgy, right? And now you're soaking in those qualities of the deep brain. That's just absolutely profound. So everything that I'm talking about, it's all right here. I highly encourage you to check it out. I hope you love this. If you did, be sure to hit that bell down below so I can see all of you.